blood cell, blood carrying vessels, this particular the cell tissues is bursted, and at the same time, hemoglobinuria, hemoglobinuria, hemoglobinuria is in extraction of kidneys. Yeah, sometimes it extract the kidneys also. So this is one of the cause. Next, normal HB hemoglobin level, HB levels. Once maybe starts the fetus, within a weeks the fetus is in, generates embryo onwards. The embryo contains, then fetus is develops. In the fetus, 16 to 8 grams per deciliter, maybe 22. 25 grams in deciliter. Why? Because it's in the mother contains this all or it's in the womb. The newborn baby just is released, the metabolic activity is not starts, it begins. The activity just begins. What way this metabolic activity begins? Once it begins the respiration system is begins, then only the metabolic activities begins. Other than that, the newborn baby is mortal, is declared as a, it leads to death, is unconscious phase. So the immediately in the delivery labor, what they do is the newborn baby. Once it cuts the umbilicus, then it begins. Or else the next functionality they follows, of course. The newborn baby is 10 to 24 only. The fetus is beginning, it's earliest of the months. Months 2 is slowly fetus in a womb, it develops. And transfusion from the placenta. The fetus is contains in the placenta, and hemo concentration and the heme concentrations is in the levels, the optimum or not. Accordingly, it will check, of course. This is the scannings and all these are, this baby is in anemic or not, or is in overgrowth, or high obesity, high obesity female, is she pregnant, then did much care about this particular from fetus to that entire the placenta developments, the fetus developments, to up to newborn baby, up to delivery. They much care about this. Yeah? The required immediate supplies are not. Other than, first foremost, that systems are not developed. Then the respiratory system or whatever the system, nerve system, sometimes someone is respiratory system is not developed. So the next, up to 1 year, is 10 to 12 grams per deciliter. The males 14 to 17 grams. And females is equal to 15 grams of the hemoglobin in each and every 100 ml of the blood it takes place. Next, this is the structure of hemoglobin. The globin is here. And 4 nitrogens, it binds with protein. With protein, the heme is attached with proteins. Pigment, the red pigment. Red pigments is in heme combined with the protein. That entire the protein body is combines centralized iron. The iron surrounding the entire the protein takes place. Different elements of binding takes place. That one is we are called as iron photopyrophyrin. Iron photopyrophyrin 9. It is mentioned as 9. The globin is in a protein. This protein body is all are centralized with just like as in your inorganic chemistry. About the structures, crystal structure of face-centered cube, body-centered cube. Like here it is the body-centered cube, one and only the iron is in that particular 4 irons in the 4, 2 alphas and 2 betas is the centralized one, the body-centered cube like this entire the globin is combined with the particular iron. All these are the iron is in a ferrous form. The iron is attached to the nitrogen atoms. Each is in a pyrrole rings. The pyrrole rings is in a 5-membered rings in each and every corner. And one iron is in a loose bond from oxygen monoxide. That is based on its activity. Either it combines with oxygen or the carbon monoxide through. Next, 4 pyrrole rings, tetrapyrrole, and bridges with methane, and side chains of 8. What it is? This 4 methyls. These 4 methyls. And vinyls, 2 vinyls. This is 1 and this 2. The vinyl is nothing but a aromatic ring is directly combines with whatever the aromatic ring combined carbon is immediately contains of the double bond. That one is called as vinyl. This is of our vinyl group. The aromatic ring of pyrrole that immediately it combines with carbon. This particular carbon is contains of the double bond. Here also same. So it's a vinyl groups. Here it is the carbon, but particularly here it is the organic ring, aromatic ring, but it's have nothing. Here it is this carbon is directly with pyrrole ring, but it's not at all contains of any double bond. All are single bonds. This is CH2. Here it is CH2. Here it is CH3. Here it is CH3. But here it is CH and single bond and double bond. So vinyl groups. That is the vinyl group. CH2. Yeah. 2 vinyl and propanoic acids. These are the propanoic acids. Propanoic acid. Prop. The prop is 3 carbons and oic acid. The carboxylic acid, COOH, this takes place. 2 propanoic acids and 2 vinyls and 4 methyls and the side chains of 8 total. And the next 4 pyrrole rings, all corners, bridged with methane and nitrogens. One is alpha and another one is the beta side. Next, the polypeptide chains. 4 polypeptide the chains is centrally, and the globin is in hemoglobin A, and the 2 alpha chains is 141 amino acids, and 2 beta chains is 146 amino acids takes place, each and every one. Next, the 4 units of heme is attached to 1 unit of globin. One unit of globin. It's totally the centered iron. It combines. So one hemoglobin molecules is contains of the 4 iron atoms which carry the 4 molecules of oxygen. So this each and every alpha, beta, and alpha, beta. Each have contains of this particular the heme structure of the iron is in a 4 irons in a 4 oxygens it can the carries. Here, how to it is synthesized? This is a simplest reaction, but it's in the laboratory conditions only. Just the human body is a big laboratory. So the blood is not really synthesized. Here it is 2 succinyl coenzyme A. 2 succinyl coenzyme A. CoA means coenzyme A, and 2 glycines. Then immediately the pyrrole ring is generates. 4 pyrrole rings in 4 corners. What you identify in the structure? The 4 pyrrole rings, 4 pyrroles is in protoporphyrin 9. Protoporphyrin 9 is generated. Then protoporphyrin 9 is combined with ferrous iron, then heme, the red pigmented source of heme it generates. Then this particular heme is combined with polypeptide. This polypeptide rings through its combines, then hemoglobin chain of alpha and betas. So 2 alphas and 2 betas is combined, and the 2 chains of alphas and 2 chains of the betas, and this full-fledged hemoglobin. So this is the flow chart of synthesis mechanism of hemoglobin. One succinyl coenzyme A to succinyl coenzyme A's and 2 glycines to hemoglobin A. Pyrrole rings is in a first step. 4 pyrrole rings it then converts as forms as in protoporphyrin 9 and protoporphyrin 9 with ferrous iron. Then heme generates the heme with peptides, polypeptides. Then alpha betas of 2 each. Then hemoglobin generates. Yeah, this is the synthetic. We have the flow chart. The alpha, beta, like ketoadipic acids, to up to the heme, and the heme contains the globin is combined, then ferrous iron, then hemoglobin takes place. Yeah, 4 pyrrole rings is combined, then it is in protopyrrole ring of 9 is generated. Hemoglobin formation and the role of the proteins. Yeah, good proteins is the most important food of animal origins, especially the liver, spleen, heart, kidney, and these much more. Amino acids, and next intermediate value of that is the least one in vegetables and and foods, vegetable, fruits, cereals, and dietary products, the dairy foods. Okay, the formation of the hemoglobin. But why? Because anemic. Once it's anemic, the lack of heme begins. It's not covers. It takes a lot of time. Anemic conditions, disease begins, then it leads to some other diseases. What happens is here it have a ferrous iron, +2 iron. Is in a dietary iron, red blood cells. Red blood cells is iron releases through degradation. Once it's in a hemoglobin, it's containing of the iron level, then suffocation of the body, and out of hectic way it feels. So that is the reason why immediately whomever is a pregnant woman, immediately the supplies for the developing of the external source of iron and folic acid tablets is supplies. It's in a government. The government is supplies in a Ministry of Human Health and Development. They are taking a step. In 3 to 4 decades onwards, this is the practice that goes on in Indian health system. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, especially in the mother and child care systems, they supplies. Why? Because the iron is decreases, but carrying of oxygen is not at all. And the rest of other elements, even the copper, the cobalt, calcium, all these are vitamins and bile salts, other metal. Example of the conservation of the calcium is conserve the iron, subsequent utilization of the calcium. It is the influence, and the cobalt, it increases the production of erythropoietin. Once it is may takes place, what happens? Osmotic pressure is increases. The blood cells, red blood cells is damages. The copper is in absorption by utilizing of this particular iron point. See, it helps in absorption of iron in the gut. This is citrus foods like, and the B12, cyanocobalamin, the vitamin B12 is cyanocobalamin. It's in a folic acid. It's also helpful. Pregnant women is also supplies vitamin B12. Vitamin C also.